Okay, so the next question I've received today is from someone who said that they lost their baby girl in March, and that they're feeling very isolated and asking what is there out there that they can access. So I guess first of all, I just want to say I'm so sorry for the loss of your little girl, and there is never a nice time to lose a baby. It's obviously the most awful experience that anyone can go through, really. But I think to lose a baby in the middle of lockdown is just even worse if that's possible. Just because one of the things that really helps to get us through after such tragedy and when we're grieving is the support of others. It's so important to have the support of family and friends and organisations, to meet up with lost parents if that helps you, to attend support groups if that helps you, to read other stories, just to feel that you're not alone and that other people understand your grief and your situation and support you and will kind of stand by you and give you what you need, means everything. So to go on and have this experience at a time where you can't have family and friends round to give you a hug, where people aren't able to meet your baby in the same way they might have done, where maternity services were at a point where partners weren't around, allowed in for a lot of labour. It's just an incredibly difficult time. I recognise the impact that COVID has had, and I think that support services have really been impacted by that as well. So and that's nobody's fault. But I know for sure that Oscars Wish are brilliant in being able to support people and fund counselling for lots of lost parents locally. However, Harbour Counselling, who provide a lot of that counselling, shut down during lockdown. And so I think recently, literally in the last week, they've just reopened and started thinking about picking people up again, whether that be face to face or online. But that support just hasn't been available at all. Just Oscars Wish have organised a couple of coffee mornings, and I know some of those they've had to be really careful about what are we and aren't we allowed to do because of the rule of six, and because of restrictions being lifted and put back in place again. So I guess the short answer is that there isn't a lot out there, and there certainly isn't enough, considering what people need at an especially difficult time. In terms of what is there, so there is online support. So there are the support groups that I run alongside Oscars Wish, which are the first Sunday of every month. 2:00 is the one for lost parents or kind of newly bereaved or people who want to talk about the loss of their baby. And 3:00 is for people who are thinking about trying to have another baby or are pregnant again and want to think about what that brings up. So there are those groups. There are the coffee mornings that Oscars Wish run, which I think they're looking to rerun again, but obviously can only be a maximum of 6 people. There are all the online support groups and kind of Facebook groups that Oscars Wish have, one for mummies, one Dad's Grief Too for daddies, and then there's the kind of general Oscars Wish page. People who don't want to log on to the support groups but want to ask a question like this, as you know, you can kind of ask a question. I know SANS have got all of their kind of forums, which are very active. So if you post a question, you're likely to get kind of numerous responses that day. If you kind of really need someone to talk to and support you and someone who understands, then get quite an immediate response with that. I think they've just started their monthly support groups that they normally run again online. So I think you find the one local to you. So I think there's the Brighton one is normally based in Shoreham, I think. But I think that's online. And I think there's another one in Horsham around here, which again, I think is going online at the moment. In terms of face-to-face there is less so. I know one of the things that I found really helpful after my loss was I chatted to people on the SANS forum and just happened to find someone who was in a similar situation to me, had a similar loss and lived nearby. And yeah, we became friends and we would meet up, kind of just the two of us, and support each other. And So it might be, although the rule of six stops us meeting in big groups, maybe through the support groups, whether it be Oscar's Wish or SANS, or you can find somebody else who you feel understands your loss and is equally feeling isolated and would like to meet up in person or chat over WhatsApp or whatever way that would help you. If I guess that's kind of what's available in from other lost parents or kind of organisations to support with loss. The other thing is to go to your GP if you're feeling like actually you're isolated in a way that's really affecting your mood and that you want to be able to talk things through. If perhaps you've accessed the Oscar's Wish counselling or are waiting on that and feel that you want kind of another route as well, or whilst waiting, the NHS might be a way of doing that. I don't know what the wait times are like in the NHS. They can be lengthy. If you can afford it, there's also kind of accessing support privately. The other thing is reaching out to friends and family. So I think if you have loving family members and friends who kind of would be there and support you, but you feel like you'd be a burden if you talk to them, or you feel like when you tell them they don't quite get it or understand, or they don't say the right things, as long as they're well-meaning, I think sometimes, as hard as it is, it takes you to initiate that to get the right support from family and friends. So sometimes you might need to reach out to friends and family and say, look, can we meet up? I really need to talk things through, or can I talk this through with you, or I'm feeling rubbish, or if someone makes a comment and it's not right and it makes you feel like they don't understand or it upsets you, even if it's kind of well-meaning, then perhaps saying to them, oh, I know you're trying to make me feel better, but actually I just want you to, say, I know that's difficult for you. Or so, for example, I know lots of well-meaning family and friends can kind of try and cheer us up and kind of say, oh, well, think on the positive side, or, or I know it's difficult, but it'll get easier with time, or kind of these kind of comments that are meant to cheer us up and make us feel better, but actually can feel pretty dismissive. So if you're in that situation, sometimes it is just saying to people, I know you mean well, but actually, I just need you to say that this is rubbish and I'm sorry that, you're experiencing this, or I'm sorry you've had your loss, or whatever it might be that you think you need at that time. I don't know if that answers the question. If not, feel free to send me another message. But I totally understand the isolation, and Oscar's Wish and I would really like to do things to try and reduce the isolation for people. So maybe have a think about what that isolation is about. Do you need to meet people in person? Do you want to meet people online? Do you want to speak to family and friends? Do you want to speak to other lost parents? And then think about how you can kind of meet that need and what it is that would make you feel less isolated. I think it's also, just a final thought really on that, it's also worth highlighting that loneliness is really part of the grieving journey as well, I think, because your heart and your soul is absolutely longing for your baby girl, or if you've had a boy, I know for this person it was a girl, but for your baby to be here with you in your arms and to be safe. And I think there is a feeling of loneliness. There's a part of, almost you can feel like there's a part of you missing because your baby is physically missing. And I think that can feel quite isolating, feeling like other people don't understand, or when you talk to family and friends, they don't quite get it because they've not, might not have been in this situation. Or so I think it is quite isolating, and I think it can be difficult if you're of an age where lots of family and or lots of friends, sorry, are also pregnant or having children, and to just feel that kind of, it's not fair, why do they get their baby, or why has this kind of happened to me? I think they are really isolating thoughts. So yeah, I completely understand the isolation. I'm sorry you're feeling that, and Oscar's Wish and I would love to be able to help if we can. I've given you a few ideas, but yeah, there does need to be more, and maybe that's part of the baby loss awareness time that we're in at the moment. Maybe we need to write a piece about how isolated people are feeling and what can we do to support people further, especially at a time where services are running on a bare minimum and actually people need them more than ever. Yeah, I hope that helps, and do contact me if I can help further. All right, take care. Bye.